What up, guys? Back at it like a bad habit here on Tuesday, May 28th, and I have a good video lined up for you here. We'll be talking QAnon, we'll be talking MMS, we'll be talking UFOs, all the stuff in the mainstream media that's blowing up that they're either lying to you about, trying to discredit, or giving you half-truths about. That's why I'm here, to help you undo all that brainwashing that they're trying to give us. So go ahead and sit tight. This will be a great video, and let's go ahead and roll that intro. Beats! First of all, shout out to a sponsor of this channel, and Virtual Shield. They're a VPN, a virtual private network service, and a VPN is helpful for a few different things on the internet. Number one, you can keep your data encrypted. You can keep it safe and secure when you're sending it over the internet. And number two, it'll help you bypass censorship. You can actually change your IP address and tunnel into websites that you were previously blocked from. So you can check out Virtual Shield's VPN, super cheap. They got a Memorial Day special still going on where you can get it for $3 and 25 cents a month for 2 full years. Again, that's Virtual Shield. Check them out. There'll be a link in the description down below. All right, guys, getting down to business. First, I want to discuss Q. And the first thing there, I want to show you guys a retweet. And in fact, it was a retweet of me by Sebastian Gorka. Now, a couple of days ago, I just made this tweet where I was talking about Q. There's all these accusations, allegations going on that Q is a cult, Q is a LARP, all this stuff. So I basically just said Q is an information dissemination operation being conducted by intel insiders with close connections to President Trump in order to raise public awareness during this ongoing shadow civil war with the deep state. Just a simple, short sentence overviewing Q for everybody. And I guess it was a pretty neat tweet, went around, and Sebastian Gorka found it, retweeted it, and said, let me translate for you. Q is bollocks, bollocks. Now, as you may very well know if you've been following the Q saga, the drama, following it, researching it for a little while, Sebastian Gorka has been adamantly opposed, tweeting every so often, calling Q garbage, calling it bollocks, etc., etc. And I don't know Sebastian Gorka's angle on this all, quite frankly. I know a lot of people are upset with him. They think he's controlled opposition. They found some history of him maybe being tied to the MAGA coalition. I don't know if those claims are true or not. I can't say. Is he maybe some sort of white hat? That's another possibility I floated around in my head. Maybe he's, quote, trashing Q publicly just to get more eyes on it, and avoid the negative publicity of him supporting Q, right? Could be possible. I don't know. You know, he was forced out of Trump's administration pretty early, so maybe they found out he was some sort of mole or controlled op that was getting in. Maybe he's still close to the Trump administration and, you know, playing the optics games with this all. Again, I don't know, but pretty sweet retweet. More eyes. Always more eyes on the topic. Never a bad thing. And moving on into some attacks against Q today. And these attacks kind of bummed me out, quite frankly, because they weren't from the mainstream media. They were from the alternative media. And this came from the Disobedient Media, is the name of the outlet. And they wrote an article that says, is this intelligence group responsible for the QAnon conspiracy theory? And this just didn't stay on the Disobedient Media page. Zero Hedge even shared it. And I've liked Zero Hedge for quite a while. They put out some good stuff here and there. But they're also sort of an amalgamatory website, so it's not all original content. Sometimes they repost articles from other sites. And they reposted the Disobedient Media article here, kind of a bummer. But this article basically says, QAnon, the saga, is without a doubt the most effective and fascinating conspiracy theory in recent history. They're still calling it a conspiracy theory, and they're in fact positing the idea that this group called JTF MAGA, Joint Task Force Make America Great Again, was behind the whole QAnon movement. And this whole article is full of misinformation. It's full of twisted context. The writer of it even claims Lisa Mae Crowley has interacted with the JTF MAGA before, which Lisa Crowley today tweeted that is not the case. And I also find it pretty hilarious that later on in this article, they also feature Jack Posobiec, which Jack Posobiec is apparently, or was, on the team of this Joint Task Force MAGA. And Jack Posobiec, I mean, if you were following Q about a year ago, you remember him coming out with all of his videos, all of his reports, completely exposing QAnon, exposing the people behind it. It was all just complete BS. Jack Posobiec's alleged source, his name was Microchip. Microchip claimed a lot of different things. A lot of them were lies, contradicted himself all the time. One of those contradictions and lies was that I was behind Q. 100% false. So Jack Posobiec's sources are confirmed liars. I can prove that. Jack Posobiec himself is lying about QAnon. And that brings us back to this article here. Again, twisted context, misinformation, lies all over the place. Just bum me out, man. Bum me out. Disobedient media, losing credibility here. Zero hedge. Like, I know you guys just repost stuff time and again, but come on. Verify what you're reposting. And moving on here, let's talk about General Flynn, that patriot. So right here, Gateway Pundit reporting today, seeing this go around. This is very big news. Obama appointed FISA court judge Contreras, the man who recused himself from General Flynn's case, is reportedly involved in multiple FISA court abuses. This article goes on to explain everything going on with the FISA court, etc., etc. But at the end of the article here, they feature Joe DiGenova's recent comments. And he was on the air in recent days sharing some more information about General Flynn's case and the FISA abuses. And he says right here, remember, Mr. Contreras, the judge who recused himself from the Flynn case after taking the plea, it is now known that he was involved in several other FISA warrants involved in this matter, basically fraud on the FISA court. Judge Contreras has a lot of explaining to do, and so does the Chief Justice of the United States as to what he's done to fix the mess that has been created with the FISA court. Boom! Then as the Gateway Pundit writes here, General Flynn was set up, period. In bold, capitalize all that, yell it from the rooftops. General Flynn was set up, but there's still so much that we don't know. A lot of people within the FBI, intel community, and people involved with FISA, the courts, they have a lot of explaining to do. Absolutely. So more information coming out that General Flynn was totally set up. That man should very well be exonerated. His name should be completely cleared. He should be able to tell the world what's really going on. And to support him, I love the fact that the Gateway Pundit put his legal defense fund here at the bottom of this article. I saw that. I was like, heck yeah, I'm going to donate a little bit to that. So I did today. I advise you to go do it. Support General Flynn for Memorial Day here because he definitely deserves it. Okay. Now let's move on into talking about MMS. Then I want to finish up with UFOs in space. So I saw another article, another hit piece, attack coming out of the mainstream media today against MMS. MMS, which stands for the Miracle Mineral Supplement, also known as, the technical compound name of it is chlorine dioxide. Now remember, YouTube took down my video, gave me a strike on my channel a couple of months ago. My video that was pretty much the most popular video on YouTube about MMS. It had like 300,000 views. I uploaded it a couple of years ago. They took it down. Then all these hit pieces came out of the mainstream media against MMS. Basically, you know, they were sanitizing the truth on social media before their propaganda push of attacks on MMS. It's their psyops, their psychological warfare in action there. But anyway, this article today, NBC News, says Amazon removes books promoting dangerous bleach, quote, cures for autism and other conditions. So Amazon sanitized a whole bunch of information on their platform, removing books. Literally modern day book burning, books about MMS and chlorine dioxide. Now, a few notes on this article. Number one, the author of it, her name's Brandy Zadrozny, if I'm getting that correct. I really don't care if I am. But she's the author of this. She's really been going hard on Twitter, lying, spreading propaganda about MMS and chlorine dioxide. I got into it a little bit with her on Twitter today. And again, claiming it's an industrial bleach, claiming that it's poisonous, it can cause permanent harm, like all of this stuff that are complete misrepresentations and oversimplifications, okay? Complete misrepresentations. Can it cause harm? Well, yeah, if you don't use it properly, but anything can cause harm. You can drink too much water and kill yourself. That's actually happened before, okay? So the poison is in the dose, and chlorine dioxide is totally safe if you're using small doses very carefully, okay? And whenever I talk about it, I continuously reiterate, if you use it consciously and properly, it's very good stuff. But you can harm yourself with MMS. If you're just not familiar with it, you know, you can detox too fast if you take too much of it at the beginning or at once. And yeah, you'll get that Herxheimer effect and it won't be too good. You might get some diarrhea, and whatnot, but it is very safe. I've taken it before quite a bit, and it's absurd that this stuff comes out in the mainstream media. Amazon removed Andreas Kalker's Forbidden Health book that promoted chlorine dioxide. Funny thing about Andreas Kalker, you know, that MMS video uploaded a couple of years ago, he saw it and he commented on it. He commented on it that basically said he has faith for Americans, because Andreas Kalker, if you don't know about him, he is a European scientist who's using MMS in actual hospitals over in Europe. So he's using it officially over there, but over here in America, you know, our media is calling him a quack and calling him fake news, which is absolutely absurd, you know, 100% projection. But Andreas Kalker, cool dude, commenting on my videos before, he commented about the false flag. You know, that was around the time when that Syrian false flag happened, and I called it out in a video, and I guess he watched it, and he was like, you go, Americans, you guys are waking up to your own corrupt deep state. So that was cool. But anyway, sad to see his book go. Also, Jim Humble's book, he's a huge MMS proponent, so just absurd stuff coming out of the mainstream media here. And Amazon, okay? Here's one thing, Amazon. Okay, so they remove books talking about chlorine dioxide for health benefits, but Amazon is still selling chlorine dioxide tablets as water purification drops. You know, hikers and backpackers have bought chlorine dioxide tablets for a long time and used it to make potable water. And little do they realize chlorine dioxide can actually be used in healing regimens, alternative health regimens. So a bunch of hikers and backpackers out there have no idea what they're really buying. It's pretty funny. And again, the contradictions, the hypocrisy right there. Amazon still sells chlorine dioxide. They just removed books which talk about chlorine dioxide for health benefits, right? So keep coming at me, mainstream media, with all your fake news. It's more than easy to deconstruct all of that fake science that you're putting out there. And also, one last thing on chlorine dioxide. I found this today. Chlorine dioxide is actually listed in the WikiLeaks emails. Of all things, I was shocked when I found this, and I had no idea, but chlorine dioxide is listed in the WikiLeaks Stratfor emails, the global intelligence files, over 5 million emails from the Texas headquartered company Stratfor. Now, Stratfor basically did a lot of underground intelligence services for huge corporations like Lockheed, Raytheon, you know, a bunch of defense contractors, Dow Chemical, the government as well, et cetera, et cetera. So incredible to see chlorine dioxide in the Stratfor emails. This shows you that the intelligence agencies actually take it seriously. And this email, the Stratfor email about chlorine dioxide, is pretty incredible. It's actually talking about it very truthfully, talking about MMS for cancer, toxins, pathogens, cleansing, even talking about Jim Humble. I'll link this email down below. I would suggest you read it if you want to familiarize yourself with the truth about chlorine dioxide. Sweet, man. Hasn't WikiLeaks been correct 100% of the time? Well, maybe not in the last, say, 6 months or so, since they've probably been compromised, but I mean, we're talking 2012 here. Have they ever been proven wrong, at least with the emails that they put out? Huh, interesting. That's that. Again, a bunch of links will be in the description below. And now let's get into UFOs or UAPs or whatever the heck you want to call them these days. More articles still going around the mainstream media. They are ringing this whole disclosure, or should I say half-truth disclosure initiative, as much as they can. First article we'll discuss, this one, the Washington Post. They say UFOs exist and everyone needs to adjust to that fact. 2 points on this. Number one, just in my own head, I find this pretty hilarious that for decades, since all the way to the 1940s, really, the deep state propaganda machines, they've been trying to ridicule the idea of UFOs, cast it out as a conspiracy theory, call people crazy for talking about it, you know, but now, wow, the deep state propaganda machines say everybody needs to adjust to the fact that UFOs exist, huh? So ask yourself, why now? Why now are they rolling all this out? Why now are they trying to get people acclimated to it? Get people to take it seriously? Why are they trying to normalize it, huh? There you go. And second point, which sort of intertwines with that, all of the mainstream media outlets that are the spearhead promoting this, New York Times, Politico, Washington Post, yay? These are like the fakest of the fake news media. New York Times, Politico, WAPO. So I don't know why. I mean, you know, I'm about to go to a UFO conference this weekend, Contact in the Desert, and there's a good majority of people there that look at these media outlets as being true. And it's totally going right over their heads that the fakest of the fake news is putting articles out about UFOs. So maybe we should question that. Maybe we should put these articles, put this whole To the Stars Academy secret UFO ATIP program, maybe we should put this all under very close scrutiny, because there's some very shady organizations and individuals behind all this all. Not just the fake news media corporations, but again, like I said in my latest videos, even yesterday's, Harry Reid, John McCain, John Podesta, all their fingerprints are on this. John Podesta, we'll talk more about him in a sec. So again, scrutinize it closely. Don't just fall for it because it says UFOs and you get all excited and believe it all. That's exactly what they want, okay? They want people to get into this so then they can insert their gatekeepers, insert their particular narratives, and think that they're disclosing for benevolent reasons. Not really. Limited hangout. And then next article here, The Drive. So The Drive here saying, you know, discussing the fact that FA-18 pilots are seeing UFO counters, et cetera, et cetera. Their subheadline really cracks me up because it's really a bunch of crap. They say a major upgrade in fighter tech radar systems seems to have been the key in detecting and tracking bizarre objects flying in military training airspace. They're basically saying an upgrade in radar sensors is why in 2014 and 15 that now we're getting all these sightings. That's a crock of shit, because UFOs have shown up on radars for a long, long time. The earliest instance that I can think of just off the top of my head here, the Battle of Los Angeles. Look into the Battle of LA. I'll see if I can link an article below about it where you can get some truth on the matter. But the Battle of Los Angeles, basically back in 1942, on radar, a bunch of UFOs popped up over Long Beach Harbor, and it was a lot more than just UFOs on radar. In fact, there was a lot of sightings. It was right over a military installation, and the military installation even started firing on this UFO. And there's a lot of documents and witness testimony that we can use to corroborate it. You know, I interviewed late, great Secret Space Program insider William Tompkins. He was an eyewitness to the Battle of LA. So a lot of info about that event, and UFOs on radar right there. So crock of shit that new upgrades in radar sensors are why these UFOs have been detected lately. That's just an excuse. That's just an excuse to make it all seem new. They want to make all these disclosures seem new to cover up their cover-ups, right? Not act like, oh, wow, these secret space programs really run deep, and there's been all this technology hidden for decades, and billions of dollars, trillions of dollars falling into them. They want to brush that all under the rug and just give us a tiny little piece. That's the definition of limited hangout. Go read the definition of a limited hangout. They give us a tiny little piece of truth. They volunteer it, make us think that that's all there is so they can brush the rest of their crimes, the rest of their cover-ups under the rug. Like I said, cover-up of a cover-up. And then in this article as well, they insert their gatekeepers. And that is a massive component of this half-truth disclosure initiative, is the insertion of their gatekeepers. So, like I said, I'm going to a UFO conference this weekend, and a lot of those folks they're pushing for these UFO disclosures in the fake news mainstream media. And in fact, they also deny and discredit and undermine Pizzagate and QAnon and other conspiracy theories. So it's as if this UFO disclosure initiative is bringing along a bunch of gatekeepers that they are inserting, they're trying to funnel the masses to, because then these gatekeepers can undermine a bunch of other hardcore, quote, conspiracy theories, right? So one of those gatekeepers in this Drive article they insert is a dude by the name of Danny Silva. They say, our good friend, he's a good friend of the mainstream media apparently. Danny Silva reported on the broad strokes of this story days before the New York Times piece was published via dissecting an interview with one of the Navy pilot witnesses. So they're saying that, wow, Danny Silva apparently has these inside connections that could be totally set up. And funny thing, so Danny Silva, this is the link right here, UFOs hovering for days, just sitting there, blah, blah, blah. He's like one of the dudes that is really spearheading, really pushing, thinking these To the Stars Academy disclosures are for the public's benefit. This dude was trashing me today. In fact, let me read a tweet. I want to read a tweet right here. It's pretty funny. This guy, he said, when I spoke to this guy on this podcast, I said it felt like we were in the calm before the storm. the storm is here. He was literally saying the calm before the storm is this UFO disclosure. I read that, I'm like, wow, you're not trying to take a Qism, are you? So I said, no, dude, these UFO disclosures are being done by people trying to avoid the storm. That's all I replied. And he said, bro, break a story, why don't you? He said, your career is hot garbage. Oh yeah, my career? Dude has like 3,000 followers on Twitter. I've got 90,000. Hit movie, a few other things. Yeah, I broke a story, quite a few. QAnon, MMS, a lot of other things. So you can see they're trying to discredit the people who talk about Pizzagate, QAnon, and prop up their own gatekeepers. And funny enough, speaking of John Podesta, remember? John Podesta blocked me on Twitter. Oh my God. I found this out today while I was trying to comment on one of his things, because John Podesta actually posted this recent New York Times UFO article. Went to his profile because I wanted to comment on it, and I found out he blocked me. He blocked me. So again, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to push out those who talk about the much deeper truths and insert their own fluff narratives. And you know what I think I'm going to do to celebrate John Podesta blocking me on Twitter? I think I'm going to throw a pizza party. Yes, you can come. Most definitely. As long as you know the truth about QAnon and want to talk some good stuff. And then last article I have for you guys here is on Trump, Mars, and the Space Force. So, you know, this whole deep state UFO disclosure initiative, I ain't worried about it. I'm just laughing because it's so easy to expose. Honestly, I kind of feel alone sometimes. I'm like, am I the only one talking about how BS this thing is? But if I need to be the only one, I'll be the only one. And I would imagine that the White Hats, Q team, Trump administration, the alliance, whatever you want to call them, they're probably sitting back and just laughing at all this because they got something much bigger in the future that they're going to blow this half-truth UFO disclosure initiative out of the water with. Probably something big, whether it's through Q, whether it's through the Space Force, who knows. But regardless, you know, this deep state UFO disclosure initiative, it helps them. It helps them because it's opening people's minds. And then later on, they're just going to arrest all the perpetrators anyway and then come out with their own full disclosure, open disclosure, right? So don't worry, you know, just continue talking about the truth and all will be brought to light, dark to light, most definitely in these times. And Donald Trump saying the other day, we'll be going to Mars very soon. He announced that the other day when he was in Japan, and extrapolate that, reconcile that. We'll be going to Mars very soon, huh? It's as if we already have a Space Force in the secret space programs. It's like we already have a Space Force. Donald Trump in the White Hats, they're gaining access to these programs. They're getting control of them. And I really have no doubt in my mind that in the future they're going to be disclosing them. That is a part of the plan. And it's just going to blow our minds. It's going to blow everything out of the water that we think about UFOs that we're seeing in the mainstream media right now. And it's going to be good times. Good times. So I'm very excited for these times that we live in. And I want to thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching me here, hanging out with me for a little bit. Appreciate you. And I'll be back very soon. Done.